Children. I work with children.
I'm like mid-20s probably. Maybe even like 30.
Hey everybody, it's Hannah Saulic, the head of video here at CinemaBlend, with Sean O'Connell, our managing editor, and we are back with another DC video. There's been a lot of chatter about Wonder Woman in general lately, which got Sean and I speculating about Gal Gadot's DCU future, so we thought we'd bring that discussion here. What we're gonna do first is just kind of run through all the facts of what Gal has said, what James has said. There may or may not be something that happens in a certain DC movie that is coming out. So what we're gonna do in this video—
Well, it's in the commercials. We'll be safe just in case people didn't see the commercial.
We will, yeah, we'll let you know when we're gonna go into full spoilers about that section. What we're really interested in figuring out is Gal Gadot the DCU's Wonder Woman? And Sean, I know you have thoughts, but before we get into all of those, just quick yes or no, do you think Gal Gadot is the DCU's Wonder Woman?
Yes, I do.
Okay, well, for everybody watching, before you hear what we have to say about this, go down to the comments and let us know just what you think, gut reaction, yes, no, is Gal the DCU's Wonder Woman, and then let us know, obviously, if your opinion changes after you watch this video. While you're down there, give us a like, because if you like watching our videos week to week, that actually does make a big difference, as gross as it is to ask for it. I'm really good at this.
You will never be worthy.
Okay, let's get into our first section, which is just the facts. I compiled everything that Gal and James have officially said about Wonder Woman. So let's start with Gal.
Shall we?
So right before it was announced that Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman 3 was not moving forward, she tweeted, "A few years ago, it was announced that I was going to play Wonder Woman. I've been so grateful for the opportunity to play such an incredible, iconic character, and more than anything, I'm grateful for you, the fans. Can't wait to share her next chapter with you." What did you interpret that to mean at the time? That she was done?
Yes, at the time I interpreted it to be that she was going to share Wonder Woman's next chapter as a fan.
Boring.
Like that she had met with DC or met with James and Peter Safran, and that they said, hey, we're soft rebooting everything. Thanks for all you've done, but we're going to move in a different direction. Now, in hindsight, because that was way before we knew the
yeah, but
plan.
I would like to point out that I called that, by the way.
I'm giving you full credit because I'm now coming around to your way of thinking in this sense. I think two things are true. I think Wonder Woman 3 is not happening, right? But I think that Wonder Woman is going to be used in a way I don't see the next phase of DC movies, whatever James Gunn is trying to lay out, being heavily sequelized. So it's almost like with new graphic novels coming out. There's Superman Legacy, but then it might be a little while before you get another Superman centered film, but that doesn't mean Superman can't show up at different places.
So she's almost kind of like the Iron Man post Iron Man's trilogy.
Well, but I think all of them are Iron Man post Iron Man trilogy, right? I think he's saying to her, look, we're not going to do a clear cut, or maybe we will eventually, but right now we're not doing a Wonder Woman 3. But we're still going to use you, and you're going to pop up in other places. So by saying
can't wait to share her next chapter with you, that could signal that she meant, I know I'm going to be back, but it's not going to be in this capacity. Exactly. You all think, which might be why some people like you initially interpret it. Because the first part of the tweet very much does read like a goodbye.
And it's not that far off than what Zach was doing, in that she is a significant part of Batman vs. Superman, which was a Man of Steel sequel, traditionally. But it's not like it was Man of Steel 2.
Of course.
And so I kind of see that that's going in the direction where she will pop up in some of these other movies or television shows, and we just don't know which ones yet.
She with you?
I thought she was with you.
All right, well, I like that theory. Let's get into what James said. So going back all the way to October 25th, when it was announced James Gunn and Peter Safran were going to be the co-CEOs of DC Studios, they gave a joint statement where they singled out 5 characters, and Wonder Woman was one of those characters. They said, our commitment to Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Harley Quinn, and the rest of the DC stable of characters is only equaled by our commitment to the wonder of human possibility these characters represent. So then on December 19th, this was after Gal tweeted, and this was after a lot of people were just speculating and kind of upset about Wonder Woman 3's cancellation. And James posted something on Instagram that was basically a statement being like, look, we're not going to make everybody happy. I don't know if you remember that whole thing. Then someone commented on that and was like, why are you booting Gal? And he replied, and he was like, I don't know where you're getting that we booted Gal. And that's all he said. Maybe they haven't made a call yet, but she definitely wasn't out in the way that Henry Cavill was out.
And there is the component that we didn't think about, which is the Themyscira show that they're doing.
We're gonna get to that. I'm going in chronological order, Sean.
I'm sorry, I just thought about it.
Give him time.
Get to Paradise Lost in a second. Then during the DCU presentation on the 31st of January, he said that we talked to Gal and she's up for doing stuff. We're not sure what we're gonna do with that. So as of the end of January, it sounds like he was either not ready to tell the press what they were going to do with her or didn't want to potentially get into any Shazam spoilers at that time. I still think there might be a possibility that if they scrap her, they're not going to tell people that till after Shazam.
Yeah, that's true. Especially since they seem to be leaning into her presence in that movie as like a big marketing tool.
Yes.
Like, hey, come see this movie on the big screen because you're going to see your favorite Wonder Woman as part of it. So
now getting to Paradise Lost.
Yes.
This all takes place before Diana's birth. So while we're going to get Amazons, we're going to get Themyscira, all of that lore, we will not be getting Diana Prince theoretically in at least a first season of Paradise Lost, probably the whole show. And then finally, on March 11th, he tweeted, working on getting Wonder Woman into more animation, which is interesting. So that's all that's been officially said as of when we're recording this. I'm sure when we're editing, something else is going to pop up. But how do you interpret all of what James has said, and does that shift your opinion on whether or not you think Gal is actually the one?
No, if anything, it solidifies my belief that she is the one. And I'll say this. I think that there are ways to do the Paradise Lost show that heavily stays in the past, that still every once in a while checks in on the present day.
No, thank you.
I wouldn't want a show that bounces back and forth between the two. I think that could be
I'm trying to imagine like House of the Dragon bouncing forward, like Game of Thrones. Like
to Game of Thrones, right? It would be unusual. But I'm not saying that they can't figure out some way to potentially do it. But I would rather that they either, used Gal, established her as Wonder Woman, but then said like, either she's telling a story of something, or
kind of like the first Wonder Woman, because it opens. Look at that.
She's working in the Louvre, and then all of a sudden you're back to wherever you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
The second thing is that if he's working heavily on getting Wonder Woman involved in animation, he's talked a bit about the fact that the actors who do the animation are going to have to do the live action as well too. And so when you factor in that him saying they've talked to Gal, she's open to doing certain things. We would like to continue to, I don't know if he's gone as far as to say we want to continue to work with her, but if he says that she's open to doing stuff and then they work her into, like, let's say she does something animated for Wonder Woman in the near future. Now you've set the precedent that, she's the voice of Wonder Woman. She's going to appear in something else later on. And like I said, it doesn't have to be a standalone Wonder Woman movie. She could just be part of a bigger story where she's a significant character in it. So
and that's
these things are all sort of pointing to me more that she's still involved.
Wonder Woman. What do you think, man? You think she'd ever go for a younger guy?
She's 5,000 years old, Barry. Every guy's a younger guy.
All right, let's talk about Shazam. I have not seen it as of this recording. So spoiler warning for everybody watching this video. Sean is about to get into what actually happens beyond the marketing that you may or may not have seen. So jump to the description if you want to see chapters and skip and come back. But Sean, in 30 seconds or less, can you tell me what happens with Wonder Woman in Shazam: Fury of the Gods?
Let's do this.
So Billy dies at the end of the movie, and they essentially say there's no way for us to bring him back because it would require somebody who has the power of the gods in order to restore him. And Wonder Woman appears, and she basically says like, hey, he's not the only god left. And she uses her powers to resuscitate him, and Shazam digs himself out of the grave and says, oh my God, I can't believe that you did this for me. Thank you so much. And she goes, you're good for this world. And they have a joke where he hits on her, says like, hey, can I give you a call? She's like,
stick to saving the world, kid.
but they needed her magic in order to revive him because she was the only sort of god creature, godlike person left on the earth who would have the power to resuscitate him.
She's helping resurrect a lot of people in her DC on-screen time.
But the point I want to make, though, is that it is very much not a mid-credit scene blip.
Congratulations.
It's part of the main movie, so it's not like a
Did it feel
throwaway.
like a weird drop in where you're like, why is she here? Like, how did, like, because you know how like you're like, why is Superman working with Amanda Waller in the first place? And also like none of the logic of why he was there really fit. So were you jarred by it? Okay.
No, it's not nearly that random, because there are other scenes sprinkled throughout the movie where Shazam is thinking about Wonder Woman and referencing Wonder Woman.
Like a teeny little bit.
All the time.
But I will say this now, and this is still part of the big spoiler section, so if people don't want to know this, continue to skip forward, because I even feel bad just talking about this. I interviewed Grace Curry, who plays Super Mary, and I said, did you film with Gal? You know, was she on set with you? And she said, no, she wasn't even on set with us. So if you're listening to this and you go see Shazam, pay attention to how it's shot. It looks pretty good. It definitely doesn't look like, oh, you are blatantly green screen and you're not here kind of thing.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Right?
And then the director has talked about the fact that like they had multiple versions of the end, and they had versions of the end that would have worked if they couldn't get Gal. It was really just came down to scheduling.
I have a lot of work.
And so again, when we talk about, is she Wonder Woman going forward? Like, this is not a scene that brings closure to her character. It's a scene that furthers the idea that Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman is out there.
You live out and you're just out. Like you never get in.
Also something too that kind of goes off of what you're saying. So David Sandberg tweeted, Shazam 2 never addresses why their suits are different now. If anyone would ask, my plan was to say it's because Barry messed up the timeline, but now we come out before the Flash, so I'll say the Wizard did it. So he just kind of revealed in that tweet that Shazam Feared the Gods is supposed to take place after the Flash resets the universe. And if the plan all along was to include Gal at some point, then I have to imagine, to your earlier point, she was never part of this reset that was conceived. No. It was Superman and Batman, which I know is a lot of like, you know, connecting the dots like a crazy person, but
You got your money's worth.
all right. So in conclusion,
yes,
you still firmly believe that James Gunn isn't going to come out and say we have a new Diana Prince. You think Diana Prince in the DCU is going to be Gal Gadot, correct?
As of today, whatever day it is, March 15th, I'm saying that yes, Gal Gadot is going to continue to play Diana Prince in some DC projects moving forward. I think that she'll be part of the main timeline. She's not going to be an Elseworld like Pattinson or Joaquin's Joker. She'll be part of the main fabric.
You just seem like you'd be really popular.
Just real quick, just to play devil's advocate here for people who are just not convinced. Can you find any logical argument or evidence that Gal Gadot will not be the DCU's Wonder Woman and all of this is just for show until after we close?
The main thing I think going against her is that the other two members of the Trinity are being recast.
Yeah.
Like for Batman Brave and the Bold, you're getting a new Batman, and that's DCU continuity. That's not Pattinson. For Superman Legacy, you're getting a new Superman. It would be strange to then see Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman interacting with those two. Now, you know, Don Cheadle replaced Terrence Howard in the middle of the Iron Man movies.
It's not the same thing.
No, it's not. But he has a line when he sees Tony Stark in Iron Man 2. He's just like, yeah, it's me. I'm here now. Deal with it. You know, and which was very much a wink to the audience of just like, all right, you know what happened.
Move on. Yeah.
Let's move on.
I don't believe it.
Believe it.
And again, we don't know how Flash is going to leave everything. We're pinning a lot of hope on Flash.
Which I really don't think it's going to acknowledge that much, because you have to remember the Flash worked to reset into whatever Hamada wanted to do, and is also going to work to reset whatever James wants to do, apparently.
Right.
Which makes me think it really isn't as specific as we're hoping it's going to be, but we'll find out soon. I'm hopeful. I would love to see her stay. I'm always a little bit of a skeptic.
I'm still working on it.
We've been reading the tea leaves, but these tea leaves are changing on a daily basis, which is essentially why we make these videos. Like Hannah said, head down to the comments below and let us know what you think. Let us know if we changed your mind in any way, shape, or form. We definitely want to hear from all you guys about whether or not Gal Gadot is going to stick around as Diana Prince. And we'll be back soon with another DC video. Give us a like while you're down there, please. Helps us out a lot. We'll talk to you guys soon. You know, and I hate to do this because it's going to sort of pit her against Henry, but like she is the embodiment of that character for this generation, as in a way that Henry probably was for Superman as well too.
Just carving out a nice little hole for yourself right now.
But what I'm saying, the only reason why I believe that James is recasting Superman, or a big part of the reason why I think he is because he's directing that picture and he really wants his own crack at Superman.
Is that official?
I think I don't know if it's official, but Tom King came out and said it recently in the middle of his thing. So I'm taking his word for it. No, it's not official.